All right, Chandler, thanks for that update. Well, did you know that September is National Attendance Awareness Month?
Yeah, joining us this morning is Tony Kelly Campbell, Richland One's Coordinator of Social Work Services, to talk about why showing up every day makes such a huge difference for students. Tony, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk about the importance of just attending school every day.
Oh, wow. Well, school is sort of what we consider that gateway to life. If a student isn't educated, their opportunities are just severely limited. But when you don't come to school, there's so many things that you miss out on. Obviously, it's the academic piece that you miss out on, but then there are so many other skills that students learn on a daily basis, skills that will help you lifelong, such as conflict resolution, such as, communicating with your peers, being able to withstand a problem when it comes up in the workplace. How do we problem solve that so that we can be successful?
And it's not about just missing, 1 or 2 days of school. So tell us exactly what chronic absenteeism is.
Chronic absenteeism is sort of a federal term that all of our states have adopted, and that means you're just missing 10% of your enrollment period in school. So 10% of the school year. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about it, it's about 2 days a month. So if we have students already that have missed 2 days a month, they're considered chronically absent, and that can add up. At the end of the year, for a regular school year, that ends up being 18 days. That's a lot of days.
And talk about some of the reasons that students may be missing so much class.
Students typically miss class. Probably the most common reason is illness. It can be chronic illness, it can be an episodic sort of illness, but that's probably the primary reason. After that, we have environmental issues that play a big part in whether or not students will show up to school. We have students that are unhoused or homeless that are dealing with that. We have some students that just because of poverty and childcare issues, they may be staying home to take care of a younger sibling. It may be a situation where you have a parent who may be ill and really relies on that child to help take care of them. And so when those kinds of things happen, we need to get involved.
Absolutely. So many factors that can play into that. So it's so important that we have educators like yourself who care about our students. But talk about that impact on their learning overall when they're absent.
Okay. Wow. That's all the show. Okay, so one of the things that happens is it is a very direct correlation or relationship between how a child does academically and what their attendance looks like. So when students don't come to school, those students don't tend to fare as well academically. When we look at standardized test scores, those students don't tend to do as well. And that there's a real impact also on the entire class, because what happens is the teacher has to reteach that work to that particular child. So that slows the entire class down. So the teacher is reteaching, the class is slowing down, and the overall impact to that school is affected.
And then talk about, how Richland One is really trying to help these families, help these students come to class as much as possible.
Oh, Richland One, we're doing a lot. One of the big things that we are stressing is our mentorship and our advocacy programs, because we know that when students have relationships with a trusted adult, that they're more likely to connect and engage and to come to school. One of the things too that we do is we try to ensure that our lessons are interesting and that we're showing that there's relevance to what the child is learning. So if you're learning about maybe having algebra on a particular day, how that impacts you in the life that you want later on, how that impacts the career that you may want to go into. We have a lot of students that are interested in coding and engineering, and how that all plays together.
What would your main message be to parents and to families, just to make sure that we are in school, we are attending school every day, and we are present?
My main message would be every day matters, consistency matters, and that if there is a concern, contact us, collaborate, communicate, and we'll make it happen for your child.
Tony, thank you so much for joining us this morning and shedding a light on absenteeism. We know just how important it is for students to go to school as much as possible, and thank you for sharing what Richland One is doing to curb those numbers. Of course, all this information will be available on our website, WISTV.com.